Greetings, radio people. Welcome back to the shack. It is the 15th of March 2020 and I'm in my shack in central England, and like the rest of the country, I'm awaiting the onset of the coronavirus. We're all going to be dead within a fortnight, according to the news. Every business in the country is going to go down the pan, and we're all going to be out of work, out of a job, and life's going to be pretty damn terrible. So what better time to do some homebrewing? That's kind of what I figured, especially if we're going to go into lockdown. We're not going to be allowed out of the house for maybe a month or 4 months or whatever the latest story is. So I thought I'd do a bit of homebrewing. But anyway, what have I been doing? I've been trying to see if the DDS VFO that we used in the BITX transceiver that we built a little while ago, that was the 40-meter SSB transceiver that we made, was trying to see if I could turn the DDS part of that, so the electronic direct digital synthesizer part, into a simple CW transmitter. That's what I wanted to do. So I just thought I'd share with you what I've come up with. So this is the Fritzing diagram. So this shows you how all the bits that I've got connect together. So what I've got a connector here for an external CW key that would only be a straight key, but of course we can connect to it the CW keyer that we made a little while ago using an Arduino, and that will control this radio beautifully. This is an encoder that we use for tuning the transmit frequency. There's an output here which goes to some circuitry that I'll show you in a little minute. This does the CW shaping and switches the RF on and off. I've got a TX select button, so the software knows whether we're in transmit or not. There's a side tone generated by the software, which goes to a very small speaker. There's an output to a relay driver, which drives the transmit receive relays. I'll show you that in a minute. This is the AD9850 module that we used last time. This is the same screen controller that we used last time, so this is the ILI9341 display I like very much. And then I've just included this SMA connector thing here just to show you where the RF output comes from. So if I switch back over now to my Design Spark view, so hopefully you can see this okay. So let me show you some bits to this schematic. So first of all, the PB13 connector on the STM32 board is connected to here. It just drives a very simple single transistor switch which pulls this relay down and engages this relay when we go into transmit. The relay itself has got two sets of contacts, one over here. I've included a receiver connector. I was thinking I would use a SDR Play or something like that as the receive side of this project. So during transmit we basically connect the receiver to ground, and during receive we connect it to the antenna. The antenna socket is over here. So during receive the two are connected together. During transmit this comes to the RF output and the receiver gets connected to ground. Let's have a quick look over this way. So this is the interesting part of the circuit. Now I've nicked this 100% from here. This is the QRZ.com page of W6JL. Fabulous page, please go take a look at it. But one of the things he's got in here that's very interesting is a mechanism, an electronic mechanism for shaping his CW switching. It seems to work very, very well. He claims in the text down here that there's this, he calls it an integrated type keying circuit. He says it's found in many published homebrew designs over the past 40 years, is nothing new. I liked it very much, so I've kind of nicked it. So that is what this is here. So this is basically what we've got going on here is we've got 13.8 volts here, we've got the key line from the microprocessor coming over here, and this up basically here is a 13.8 volt line that's shaped in accordance with the keying of the CW. That then feeds down to here. So we've got the DDS output, which is running permanently when the radio is in transmit mode. That DDS output comes through this very simple RF amplifier. There's about 10 dB of gain. I've used the 1N4007 here, and it's basically acting as a pin diode. So when the voltage is here and not here, it's reverse biased, and when it's the other way, it conducts. So what that basically does is switch the RF that's coming out of here on and off in accordance with the voltage that's switching up here. It then feeds through a low pass filter and out to our antenna socket, which will feed beautifully to the 10 watt PA we built from QRPLabs recently. So this is kind of, I haven't put any more amplification in here because I think that's probably enough to drive it. The other things in here worth a look, there's a TX enable, there's a side tone connection, and I think that's probably about it. So let's take a look at it in action. So a couple of things to show you first off then. So this is the system kind of as a prototype. So this is the STM32 board that I'm using for software. So this is the Blue Pill 3-bulb and a conker from Amazon. This is the ILA9341 display that I like very much. There's a rotary encoder here, it's pointing backwards, the shaft is at that end. This is the AD9850 module, again pretty cheap and cheerful from eBay and other auction sites. And this is the bit of electronics that I just walked you through along with the low pass filter here. So that's kind of my prototype, and once I'd got it working I had to fiddle with the software a bit and change a few bits and bobs, but once I got it working then I started the build. So I've built the case very much like the BITX. I've built it using a couple of bits of circuit board. I've tried to seam solder them together. It looks like I did it with my teeth possibly. Made a bit of a mess of that. Soldering iron wasn't hot enough. So there's the STM32, there's the AD9850, there's the connectors for the screen which is mounted on the front. I've put an LED in for power. This will be a power switch, this will be the transmit receive switch, this will be the key, and this is the rotary encoder. So that gives you some idea of the starting of the build. Then I got to the point where I'd built, before I put the RF components in, I'd wired everything up and made sure it was working. And then the next job was to move the prototype bits of RF over here onto this board basically. So that was the next thing that I did. And you can have a look at that once it's installed under the bird's nest of dew point wires. So these are the two transmit receive relays which are being driven by the microprocessor, and these are the bits and bobs of the RF circuitry. So we've got one of these is the antenna socket, one of them is the RF output, and this is a DC connector, and then there's a little tiny buck boost module here to take 13.8 volts at this side to 5 volts at this side. So here's the completed rig sat here. The only visible difference that you'll see to the DDS VFO that we used for the BITX, I've changed the text on the screen obviously, but there's a little RX-TX indicator now which shows you the mode that the software knows the radio's in. That's just a little touch that I've added that I like. This is the Kia that we made a few videos ago. This is an Arduino based Kia. If you are interested in this, take a look at the channel. You'll find a video on the construction of this on my channel. So this is an Arduino Kia. It's plugged into the TX that we've just built, and I'll just send some CW. So, as you probably remember, we used the Arduino Mega ADK board in this Kia, which has a USB input socket. So there's a USB wireless dongle connected to the back for this keyboard, so this also works for the Kia. So, project's a bit of fun, very inexpensive to make. I haven't worked out the exact cost, but there's the DDS module, there's an STM32 which is exactly 3 bob and 1 conker, the screen plus a few other bits and bobs, not much to it. This will drive the QRP linear that we built from QRPLabs and generate 5 to 10 watts output depending on the drive levels. So quite a good project. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate your support, and I'll see you next time.